In the chill of 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron seek a fresh start. They drive their moving truck down a winding, dirt path in Harrisville, Rhode Island. They are followed by their 5 daughters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and little April. The house they have purchased is a sprawling, weather-ed farmhouse on a massive plot of land. It looks peaceful, but the air around it feels heavy and cold. As they begin to unload their lives, the family dog, Sadie, stops dead at the threshold. Her hackles rise, and she lets out a low, guttural growl at the empty doorway. Roger whistles, calling her. But Sadie refuses to move. Her eyes are fixed on something unseen in the shadows of the hallway. No matter how much they coax her, she stays outside, whimpering. While the girls explore the overgrown grounds, April wanders toward the edge of a dark, stagnant lake. Standing there is a twisted, ancient tree with branches like reaching fingers. In the hollow of its roots, she spots a shiny object. It is a circular, antique music box with a small mirror inside. When she winds the key, a haunting melody begins to play. And a spiral pattern spins in the glass. She feels a strange connection to it immediately. Meanwhile, inside the house, the older sisters decide to play a game of hide and clap. They run through the dusty halls, unaware of the history hidden. Within the walls, the house feels like it is watching them move from room to room. In the hallway, a loose board in the wall suddenly pops open. Roger hears the sound and investigates with a heavy flashlight. He discovers a boarded-up entrance to a hidden cellar that was not mentioned in the house sale. When they pry the boards away, they find a room filled with rotting furniture and a dust-covered piano. There are relics of the past scattered everywhere. Roger feels a sudden, sharp chill hit his skin. He tells the girls to stay out, claiming the room is full of spiders and dangerous debris. He padlocks the door tight, but as night falls, the silence of the house is broken by Sadie's frantic, terrified barking from the yard. It is a warning that the Perrons are not as alone as they think. The first morning in the new house brings a chilling discovery. Carolyn wakes up feeling a strange, dull ache in her leg. When she pulls back the sheets, she finds a large, dark bruise on her thigh. It looks like someone gripped her with immense force. She shakes it off as a bump from moving furniture. But when she goes outside to check on Sadie, the air is deathly silent. She finds the dog lying motionless in the grass near the old tree. Sadie is dead. There are no marks on her body, but her eyes are wide with terror. The family is devastated. Roger buries the dog near the woods, feeling a deep sense of unease. He tries to stay strong for the girls, but he can't shake the feeling that the house rejected the animal. Inside the house, time itself seems to have broken. Carolyn notices that the grandfather clock in the hallway has stopped. She moves through the house and realizes that every single clock, the one in the kitchen, the wind-up clocks in the bedrooms, all of them have stopped at exactly 3:07. She times this to Roger, but he dismisses it as a strange coincidence or a magnetic surge. As the sun sets, a heavy atmosphere settles over the rooms. The temperature drops rapidly, forcing the family to wrap themselves in blankets. The girls try to settle into their new rooms, but the shadows in the corners seem longer and darker than they should be. The house begins to creak, not like settling wood, but like something heavy is pacing the floorboards above them. Late that night, Roger is awakened by a thumping sound. He grabs his flashlight and heads into the hallway. He finds his daughter, Cindy, standing in the corner of the room, fast asleep. She is violently banging her head against the wooden door of an old wardrobe. Thump, thump, thump. Roger catches her, waking her gently from the trance. She looks at him with glassy eyes, claiming she heard someone whispering her name from inside the wood. At that same moment, in the kitchen, Carolyn hears a sequence of 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Knock, knock, knock. She opens the door, thinking it's Roger. But the porch is empty, the wind howls through the trees, and for the first time she feels an invisible, malicious presence standing right behind her. The following afternoon Carolyn is alone with April. To cheer the little girl up they play a game of hide and clap. Carolyn puts on a blindfold and her world turns to darkness. She listens to the sound of the small feet of April running through the house. "Give me a clap, April," Carolyn shouts. A soft clap clap echoes from the hallway. Carolyn follows the sound with her hands outstretched, feeling the cold air. She reaches the bedroom where the large dark wardrobe stands. The air here is freezing and the smell of rotting meat fills her nose. She hears the wardrobe door creak open slowly. She smiles. Because she thinks she has won the game. "I hear you in there," she says playfully. She reaches her hands into the dark, empty space of the wardrobe. Suddenly the pale skeletal hands emerge from the darkness of the wardrobe right next to the face of Carolyn. There is a loud clap-clap sound. The noise is deafening in the silent room. Carolyn rips off her blindfold and gasps for air, but the wardrobe is empty. April runs in from the kitchen laughing. And she was nowhere near the room. The heart of Carolyn pounds against her ribs. That night the terror moves to the bedroom of the children. Christine wakes up to the feeling of someone pulling her leg. At first she thinks it is her sister Nancy playing a prank. She kicks out and tells her to stop. But then a powerful cold grip yanks her toward the edge of the bed with such force that she screams. Nancy wakes up and sees that the bedroom door is slowly swinging shut on its own. Christine points a trembling finger toward the shadows behind the open door. She whispers through tears that someone is standing there. Nancy looks but sees nothing but darkness. Nancy says there is no one there, Christine. But the eyes of Christine are wide with horror. She claims the spirit is tall and twisted and staring right at Nancy. She says the spirit whispered a terrifying promise that it wants to see the whole family dead. Suddenly the door slams shut with a violent bang that shakes the entire house. The girls scream as the temperature in the room drops. Roger and Carolyn burst in and find their daughters huddled in a corner, paralyzed by fear. The smell of sulfur hangs thick in the air, which is a sign that something demonic has truly arrived. The haunting turns violent the next evening. Carolyn hears a series of strange thumping sounds coming from the hallway. She follows the noise and sees the pictures of her family falling off the walls one by one. Glass shatters across the floor. She hears a faint clapping sound coming from the darkness of the cellar. The door is standing wide open. As she reaches the top of the stairs, an invisible force pushes her hard. She tumbles down the wooden steps into the pitch-black cellar. The door slams shut above her and the padlock clicks. She is trapped in the dark. She strikes a match and sees a pale-bloated woman hanging from a rope in the corner. The match goes out and she hears a child laughing in the dark. Terrified and bruised, Carolyn realizes they cannot fight this alone. She travels to a university to meet Ed and Lauren Warren. They are famous experts who study ghosts and demons. Carolyn tells them that something is in her house and it wants to harm her children. Lauren is a medium who can see things that others cannot. Ed is a demonologist who handles dangerous objects like the Annabelle doll. They listen to the story of Carolyn and feel the fear in her voice. They agree to visit the house in Harrisville to see the haunting for themselves. They explain that these spirits often attach themselves to families like a parasite. They tell her that leaving the house might not stop the shadow from following them. When the Warrens arrive at the Perron house, the air feels thick with bad energy. Lauren walks through the rooms and feels the history of the land. She smells the scent of rotting meat, which is a sign of a demonic presence. She enters the kitchen and sees the ghost of a mother who was forced to do terrible things. Ed sets up microphones and cameras to catch proof of the spirits. He explains that the clock stopping at 3:07 is a way for the demon to mock the Holy Trinity. Lauren warns Roger and Carolyn that a very dark entity named Bathsheba is haunting them. This spirit was a Chi-Chi, who cursed the land long ago, she wants to possess Carolyn so she can kill the children. The investigation becomes more intense as the night goes on. The team sets up a camera in the bedroom of the girls. Suddenly they hear a strange scratching sound coming from inside the walls. They follow the noise to the large wardrobe where the attacks began, and moves the heavy furniture and finds a hidden door that leads into a secret passage. The space is narrow and filled with old dust and cobwebs. Lauren feels a strong pull toward the darkness inside. She crawls into the hole and falls through a weak floorboard. She lands in a hidden room that was sealed away for many years. It is Fia D with the belongings of the people who died in the house. While trapped in the hidden space, Lauren sees a small boy huddled in the corner. His name is Rory, and he is a ghost who is stuck in the house. He looks very sad and holds a small music box. Lauren realizes that the dark spirit killed this boy a long time ago. Suddenly a terrifying woman with a G-ray face and a noose around her neck appears behind the boy. This is the spirit of the mother of the boy who was forced to kill him. She screams at Lauren to get out. The air becomes freezing and the walls start to bleed a dark liquid. Lauren finds the music box of April on the floor and realizes, as it is a tool used by the witch to trap the souls of children. It pulls Lauren out of the hidden passage just as the spirit attacks. Lauren is shaking with fear and tells everyone what she saw. She explains that the witch named Bathsheba was a relative of a woman executed for magic. Before Bathsheba died, she climbed the old tree by the lake and pledged her soul to the devil. She cursed anyone who would ever live on her land. Lauren warns that the bruises on the body of Carolyn are marks of possession. The witch is slowly pushing the soul of Carolyn out so she can take over the body. Once the possession is complete, the witch will use the hands of Carolyn to end the lives of the 5 daughters. The situation turns into a nightmare as the sun goes down. Carolyn is no longer herself. Her eyes look dark and her voice sounds like 2 people speaking at once. The witch has taken full control of her mind. Suddenly Carolyn grabs the 2 youngest children and throws them into the car. She drives back to the house at high speed. Roger and the Warrens chase after her through the dark woods. When they arrive, they find the house shaking as if an earthquake is hitting it. They hear the children screaming from the cellar. They break down the door and find Carolyn holding a pair of scissors. She is trying to kill her own daughters because the spirit of the witch is commanding her to do it. Ed realizes they cannot wait for a priest to arrive from the city. He decides to perform the exorcism himself, even though it is very dangerous. He ties Carolyn to a wooden chair, but the demon inside her is incredibly strong. The chair flies into the air and flips upside down while Carolyn is still attached to it. It starts reading from the holy book and the air turns into a freezing storm. The spirit of the witch screams in a language that sounds like grinding stones. Carolyn starts to vomit blood and her skin turns a sickly gray color. The demon mocks it and tells him that he will fail, but he does not stop reading the sacred words. Lauren knows that they need to reach the real Carolyn hidden deep inside. She screams for Carolyn to remember the happy day at the beach with her family. She tells her to look at the photo in her mind and feel the love for her children. For a moment the face of Carolyn softens. This happy memory CT's like a shield against the darkness of the witch. With a final loud shout, Ed commands the spirit of Bathsheba to return to hell in the name of God. A massive shockwave hits the room and the demon is cast out. Carolyn falls silent and finally opens her eyes as herself again. The family is saved and the house becomes quiet. The Warrens leave, but they know that the battle against evil never truly ends. Thank you for watching this video on RealRealm. If you love true horror stories, then hit that subscribe button right now. We are aiming for a massive target of 10,000 likes on this video, so please smash that like button to help us get there. Your support helps the realm grow. Share your thought HTS in the comments below and tell me what story I should cover next. Thanks for being part of the Real Realm family. Stay tuned for more scares, and I will see you in the next one.